Have you ever said, I feel like I'm constantly putting out fires? I'm running from one thing to the next without catching my breath. There's never enough time in the day. I'll get to it when I can, if I can. And I don't even know where to start. Have you ever said any of those statements? The truth, your week will either run you or you will run your week. Pick your path. Plan the week or wing the week. Planning means you are proactive, you're intentional, your week is aligned with your priorities. Winging it, on the other hand, means reactive, scattered. Other people's urgencies are dictating your time usage. Yet I hear consistently, oh, I use my calendar. Everything is on my calendar. Even I've said I live and die by the calendar. But here's the truth, your calendar is actually a reactive tool that is too often telling someone else's story based on their priorities. And your ideal schedule is a proactive tool and it tells your story. Granted, having a calendar means you are less likely to be winging it, but it alone does not ensure the highest and best use of your time. So let's explore some differences between these two paths. What does it mean to wing the week? Like there's no clear map. Your day starts with, what do I need to do today? Instead of, here's what I've already decided to do. There tends to be a lot of blank spots on your calendar that, especially with tools like Calendly and Booking, it allows other people to reactively gain access to your time because you've not fully mapped out what you need to happen for your week. And you end up being roped into meetings you didn't need to attend, dealing with the urgent but unimportant request, and you're putting out fires caused by the lack of foresight. It also looks like experiencing a lot of decision fatigue because every small choice eats away at your mental energy and you end up exhausted without actually feeling accomplished. The long term effect, your priorities drift, and you often unknowingly train your team and your clients to expect immediate responses instead of thoughtful responses. Okay, so what does it mean to actually plan the week? Okay, I'm a firm believer in the ideal schedule. It's something I learned through my partnership with Southwestern Consulting. It's an Excel, or I use Google Sheets, and it's used to map out what you want your ideal week to look like. And that's Monday through Sunday. Because here's the thing, if you don't map out an ideal week, you'll likely never experience an ideal week. By using an ideal schedule, you can map out your non negotiables first. So, your meetings, your family commitments, your faith activities. And then, based on what's left, you're going to assign time blocks for your top priorities. This could be sales calls, client work, creative thinking, team development. I recommend setting intentions for each block of time. So, in other words, you don't just write, I need to work on a project. Instead, you're going to note the name of the project. Maybe it's complete proposal draft, or I need to make 10 outbound calls. The more specific, the easier it is to measure your progress. I also am a big proponent of color coding for visual impact. Assign a color for each category. Green, I like to use for revenue activities. Blue for team development. Yellow for personal growth. This gives you quick visual audit of whether your week matches your goals. And listen, the benefits are exponential. You have fewer surprises that derail your priorities. You're able to better protect your energy by grouping similar tasks, and you feel in control because you've made decisions in advance. And you may be asking at this point, okay, so how can I go from winging my week to planning my week? I figured you'd be asking that. So here are 4 practical tips. The first is pick a planning day. I have clients who use Friday afternoon. I personally usually finalize all of mine on Sunday afternoons. Those are great times. You just have to determine in advance when you're going to do that. Number 2, start small. I mean, even if you just plan out your morning, that creates momentum. Number 3, review, audit, adjust. Because listen, life happens. But when we are auditing what's happening, we're tracking, did we follow through on our intentionality and then adjusting accordingly? That's better than just going, this doesn't work, I'm throwing out the whole plan. It's so important. Like as an example, if you block an hour for a particular type of meeting that tends to reoccur on your schedule, and you end up going an hour and 15 almost every single time, then you need to adjust the block of time that you create. So just make that adjustment and continue to use the process. Number 4, protect key blocks of time. Treat your high priority time as if it were an unmovable appointment because it is key to your future success. Okay, my challenge to you, don't let the urgent crowd out the important. Choose to plan the week and watch how much more you accomplish. So pick your path. Plan the week, be proactive so that your calendar reflects your priorities, or wing the week and be reactive, where your calendar ends up reflecting everyone else's priority. Here's the key: you get to choose. Choose wisely. I'm Elizabeth Mahusay, executive business coach, corporate trainer, keynote speaker, and the international best-selling author of Pick Your Path. And I look forward to hearing how you implement at least one of these principles and strategies into your week today.